up on Vegas Nation Blitz, the Raiders won their first preseason game of the year in front of 50,000 plus fans. We'll break down the win and preview the Week 2 matchup versus the Rams.
And you have to prepare yourself for the season, and that means you got to do things you're going to do in September. So we're going to try to do some of those things against the Rams, and I'm sure they will too.
All of that and so much more coming up on Vegas Nation Blitz.
Vegas Nation Blitz, presented by D&R House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.
Welcome into Vegas Nation Blitz, where we bring you all of your Raiders fast takes and smart coverage. I'm your host, Cassie Soto. Our top stories are brought to you by Capriotti's. There's no better time than game time to score party favorites. Order online to get Capriotti's party trays, box lunches, or large subs for the whole crew. Joining me now to discuss our top stories is NFL writer for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Adam Hill. Adam, the top story is the big announcement coming from the Raiders that any fans that want to watch the Raiders play inside of Allegiant Stadium must be vaccinated this year. Before we dive into it, let's hear from Raiders owner Mark Davis.
I think people forget that we're still in the middle of a pandemic. It's not over yet. And so we've listened to Governor Sisolak. We've spoken with him on a number of things. And I think what he came up with here was two options that we could have followed. And health and safety is always number one in everything that we do. And we just feel that this part of the process, the way that he came up with it, is the one that we're going to follow. Right now, what we've got is certainty, at least for the Raider fans, that we're going to have full capacity without masks in that stadium. When you look at it, it's not just about you, it's the person sitting next to you. And that's who we're trying to protect as well. And we're willing to make the tough decision. And we hope not to lose any Raider fans because they're the most important thing to us.
Well, Adam, there you have it. Raiders owner Mark Davis speaking on the new vaccination process that needs to happen here for Raiders fans. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, the Raiders are the first. I'm guessing they're not going to be the last. They're the first team to say, hey, no vaccination, no entrance to our games. Other teams, I'm sure, are going to inquire, see what the process is like, see what the feedback is that the Raiders get. But this is really groundbreaking in terms of the NFL and saying, hey, listen, we're going to have everybody vaccinated, and then everybody can have a normal experience inside the stadium. They don't wear masks. They can yell and scream and cheer for their team without being hindered by it. And you have the comfort of knowing everyone around you is vaccinated, which is very nice for a lot of people going to the game. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are upset about it and angry about it, but the Raiders are kind of in front of this and saying, this is how it's going to be at our games this year. For the most part, the rule is simple. No vaccination, no go to the game.
Exactly. Well, fans who don't want to get that vaccination, Adam, also have the option to get a refund, as Mark Davis explained. Can you explain that for us?
Yeah, as long as they haven't sold their tickets yet, because a lot of people have already sold some of their tickets, but if you have all of your tickets still for this season, you can get a group refund. You can take all of your money, roll it over to next year for the ticket cost for next year. If you've already started selling them, I would just say, I guess you're going to sell the rest of them, and that's how you're going to work it. But you have 7 days to make the decision. Do you want to go to games this year and be vaccinated, or do you want to roll it over to next year?
Well, that will do it for our top stories. Let's toss things over now to Heidi Fang.
Around the League, sponsored by Pirate Plumbing, the masters of disasters. Thanks, Cassie. It's Heidi Fang here, and I'm joined with our Review-Journal sports columnist, Ed Graney. We're going to walk you through the Raiders' 20-7 win over the Seattle Seahawks last week in their home opener at Allegiant Stadium. Ed, I want to get your takeaways here on what the Raiders really did right in that game.
I really think guys like Trey Regis and B.J. Emmons, backup running backs, kind of made a purpose for themselves in terms of they need longer looks, in terms of making this team and contributing. And I thought Nate Hobbs in the secondary is where they have not been good at. And Nate Hobbs, I also thought, stood out in a position of need and depth. But obviously, the story of the night was fans back in Allegiant Stadium, sold out, but there were about 51,000 people in the place. Not all exhibitions will have all the people in the house. Marie Osmond, Santana, I don't know much music, but I know they're big deals.
Well, now the Raiders will head over to the home of the Hollywood stars at Los Angeles to face the Rams in week 2 here. Who or what are you looking at as far as being a big challenge for this team to face?
We got to start and beginning in with Aaron Donald, right? Let's hope Aaron Donald gets a series in at least to go against this rebuilt offensive line of the Raiders, right? Alex Leatherwood, Denzel Good, Andre James. Now we know Incognito and Miller are coming back. But there's a lot of guys in that line where a lot will be expected of this year, Heidi, and I want to see them have to go against Aaron Donald at least for a couple series.
And lastly, Ed, I just want to get your take on what you will be focused on, what you're hoping to see in this contest between the Raiders and the Rams.
The Rams have really good receivers. We're not sure in a second preseason game how much they're going to play. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. They now have Deshaun Jackson, who only played 8 games the last 2 years with Philly. But a word out of the Rams camp is this guy speeds back and he's catching the deep balls. We know the Raiders have to be better in the secondary this year. So anytime they can go against these kind of receivers in the preseason, I think is a good test for them. Again, with Aaron Donald, with these receivers, we don't know how much any of these guys are going to play, but these are 2 areas to watch if you're Raider fans.
Vegas Nation Injury Brief, sponsored by Knockvie Injury Law.
Sam Gordon here at Raiders headquarters with the injury brief. And good news for the Raiders on Tuesday as Darren Waller returned to practice for the first time in 2 weeks. He looked fantastic, did a little bit of everything, was a full participant, got open deep, got open short, did what Darren Waller does, and that's play really, really well. Also returning for the Raiders on Tuesday, backup quarterback Marcus Mariota was an active participant for the first time in a week after missing a week with a sore leg. Safety Carl Joseph also back for the first time in 2 weeks, was an active participant. And then some help on the defensive side of the ball as cornerback Isaiah Johnson and linebacker Divine Diablo come off the physically unable to perform list and are active participants on Tuesday as well. Good news for the Raiders as the regular season broaches. They are getting healthier and healthier, and of course that starts with number 83, Darren Waller, who again was fantastic on Tuesday in his return to practice.
Now let's go ahead and check up on what some of Raider Nation had to say over this exciting weekend. First up, Mark Davis's other squad, the Las Vegas Aces, were in the house for the preseason opener, bringing some gold into Saturday's sea of silver and black. Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, and Asia Wilson rocking their Olympic gold medals. It looks like Asia Wilson was gifted some merch as well after she took to Twitter saying she was in need of some. And of course, we got to see some of the most notable Raiders fans, from Pro Football Hall of Famer Violator to Gorilla Rilla, who was representing the new black hole holding it down in that south end zone. Gorilla Rilla even posted a picture with Review Journal sports business reporter Mick Akers. And we'll leave you with some more pictures from Saturday's game. Raider Nation showed up in a massive way, and Allegiant Stadium is sure to be even more spectacular for Monday Night Football against the Ravens.
Mic check.
Well, I just support the decisions that are being made. Every state, every team is probably going to have a different view on this. I support the decision that was made. I'll be anxious to see as many Raider fans as possible with no mask. That's what I'm excited about. They can make more noise that way. But I know it's a touchy subject for a lot of people, but I do support the direction we're heading, and I encourage everybody that I know to get the vaccine and come and join us.
Vegas Nation, the road ahead, sponsored by your Southern Nevada Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
As we wrap up this week's episode, let's go ahead and take a look at the road ahead for the Raiders, which leads them to the City of Angels. They are taking the field with the Rams this week for joint practices ahead of their matchup this Saturday for that Week 2 preseason game. Joining us from Los Angeles is Raiders beat writer for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Vinny Bonsignor. Vinny, can you please, let's start things here with just the benefits of joint practices.
Well, the key to them is that there's control for the coaches. When you go into a preseason game, you're beholden to whatever situation the game dictates. So while maybe John Gruden would like to get, his rookie right tackle Alex Leatherwood and his new center Andre James a first quarter of action in the preseason game, chances are that could turn out to be 6 plays. If the Raiders go 3 and out, 2 drives, and the Rams drive 2 15-play drives, and all of a sudden the quarter's over and there goes your plan. So you didn't get to execute the plan that you wanted. Whereas in controlled scrimmages and practices, John Gruden and Sean McVay will map out an entire 2 days of work with a certain amount of plays that are going to be dedicated to 4-minute drill, 2-minute drill, red zone. So there's control, and they'll get as many reps as they both decide they need in any number of situations, which oftentimes a preseason game doesn't allow for.
Well, the practices are underway, and speaking of that preseason game, I have to ask your opinion here. Do we think that we'll see maybe a change-up in the lineup there for the roster of the Raiders? Will we see any starters take the field perhaps on Saturday against the Rams?
Not so sure about starters yet, although I wouldn't rule it out. But with the Raiders releasing their fourth string quarterback on Monday, that kind of tells me that they're feeling pretty good about where Marcus Mariota is. I don't expect Derek Carr to get a lot of time, if any time. I'm excited and kind of fascinated, really, to see Marcus Mariota in extended playing time. And I think that the Raiders do have an idea in place for him this year. And I think we'll probably see a little bit of what he might bring to the table in that regard situationally, but also just letting him go out there and play. We saw Marcus Mariota one time last year against the Los Angeles Chargers, not the Rams, but the Chargers, played reasonably well, played really well, actually, for a guy that, came in cold off the bench. Hopefully for his case, and I know the fans would like to see Marcus Mariota, hopefully he gets some time on Saturday.
Thank you so much for watching another episode of Vegas Nation Blitz. We hope you're enjoying all of our Raiders content. For more fast takes and smart coverage, head on over to vegasnation.com and join us on Saturdays for Vegas Nation Game Day, airing at 7 a.m. For our entire Vegas Nation crew, I'm Cassie Soto. We'll see you soon.
Vegas Nation Blitz, presented by D&R House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.